Sheng Dan co-developed the system. It took less than a year to get the first version up and running. Now she can monitor every resident from this office.
我们排摸的这个就是整个小区里面的楼房的一些信息。
We've mapped the residential buildings in the district. Which ones are occupied? Where there are vacancies? Where elderly people are living alone? Where care or help is needed? It's all stored in our system and can be called up in real time.
那么这样的一些基本信息呢，也都在这个微平台上就可以实时的调取出来。
Even those who do not dispose of their trash properly are recorded. Residents who aren't following the rules are captured on camera from 3 different angles. The so-called brain acts swiftly. Whether it's an illegally parked car or unsolicited advertising, offences can be handled by patrol officers who are connected to the control centre via a mobile app.
居村的干部，或者是我们居村里面的志愿者，发现问题。
As soon as the squads and volunteers in residential districts spot an issue, they can report it and upload footage. They take a photo, report the issue, and then our system automatically decides which department to forward the matter to.
区分，这个事项可能是由哪个部门进行有效的一个处理的。
The brain in Shanghai's Pudong district is just one component to the overarching surveillance plan the Chinese government is pushing across the country. The goal is to have complete coverage in all major public places, such as train stations, street intersections, and parks. China's state media boasts that police can identify every single person on the street in just 1 second.
Kahalo Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakahak Radash. Double honors to the elder apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, for teaching this word in truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad, and peace and salutations to the sincere Akim that's pushing this word in truth and sincerity. To USA Shalom. So in the video that's being played, it's of Shanghai's surveillance system. They've developed a system where they can monitor their district and with complete surveillance. They're able to monitor every action that the residents in that district take or make, whether you're throwing out your trash properly, Yeah, so like if you don't throw out your trash properly, they can catch you from several different angles. Pretty much got facial recognition software. They can monitor all their residents. They can monitor vacant apartments and monitor the elderly. So they pretty much got them in a police state, a surveillance state, And that also ties into other parts of China where they have implemented their digital ID system, where you got thousands of homeless, Chinamen out there, residents of China, in the various districts. They got them basically homeless. There's videos out there where there's tons of them, like thousands of them in the street, and it's all based off their credit score, their social credit score, the implementation of their digital ID. So they've a number of their people out of their financial system. So that's basically what's coming to Babylon. All these different places over the globe is have already implemented their digital system and have certain amount of people out of the financial spectrum, out of the financial circle. So this is Jeremiah 48, and I'm gonna read 16, verse 16 and verse 29. The calamity of Moab is near to come, and his affliction hasteth fast. So the time for Moab to face some judgment is coming. They deal with their people wickedly, and it's been like that for eons. They've had so many people in their in their land, billions of people, to the point where they made it so that you couldn't they put a policy in place where you couldn't only have one child. If you have more than one kid, this was implemented in the 80s, 1980, I believe, 1980 to 2015, where if you have more than one child, they would abort the fetus, whether it was a fetus or an infant, depending on what stage you was in, and they caught on to it, they'll abort that baby. They didn't care if it was a first month or ninth month. They'll take that baby out, Then they'll it's possible they'll sterilize you, Do you like a dog? They'll neuter you. These people are wicked. They're heathen. They also had a thing where, during that time where if you had more than one, this just to show how wicked these people are, what I'm saying, how wicked the heathen is. Their wickedness is just right up there along with Esau, man. But Esau is the wicked of the Bible, and he is the devil that the Bible speak of. But these heathens are just, other demonstrations on how wicked these people are, man. These heathen nations. They will also hit you with a fine, that hit you so hard with a financial fine that, it could cripple you, So it's like they pretty much scared you into not having babies, or, kind of forced you into not having babies. But that's just to show you how wicked these people are, and their level of control that they want over the people. So like, you can't even really post nothing over there online without scrutiny, without being scrutinized. They don't have regular access to the internet the way we do. It may seem like that, but they don't. Maybe in certain provinces or certain districts or whatever out there in China, they might have full access, but none of them don't have full access to the internet where they could just post whatever they want. This is verse 29. This is Jeremiah 48 and 29. We have heard of the pride, Salaki, we have heard the pride of Moab. He is exceedingly proud, his loftiness and his arrogance and his pride and the haughtiness of his heart. That's Moab, man. Very proud people, hold fast to their traditions, hold fast to their pagan idols. And they rule with an iron fist, man. Like they're a communist country that rule with an iron fist, man. You don't do what they say do, you get caught out there doing something that they don't they not vibing with, they don't condone, they'll put your ass in jail, man. Fine you, give you hefty fines, and who knows what else they're doing, and probably off you too, depending on the severity of the crime or whatever, or their determination of a crime, how severe the crime might be, might just off you. But Moab is just this wicked, man. There's all these other heathen nations, man. They appear to have this huge cultural, diverse culture of what, based on tradition, but it's all based off pagan idols, pagan deities, but you know, the Moab is just as wicked. So with that system that they have over there, that they implemented, where that surveillance system, you know, is tied into everybody through an app, you know. It's tied into citizens through an app. It's tied into their law enforcement through an app. And you know, they basically promote, you know, ratting on each other, telling on each other if you're not doing what if you're not doing what's expected of you. You know, they're encouraging volunteers. You know, so that would be your everyday citizen, just to, you know, basically if they got the same type of thing here, man. If you see something, say something. So when police, you can get an alert on their on the app, where say if you're illegally parked, you know, they'll get it on the app, and you can, you know, pretty much go from there. But that's the system that's being tested in out there in China. So once they, you know, pretty much master that, you know, work out all the kinks and make it a quote unquote foolproof system, then that thing is gonna be rolled out all over the world, man. You know, this is Zechariah 1:15. I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. Yahweh Shemi Hawashai, man, is like, it's not dealing with all this nonsense, man. Like the way these people move, you know, it goes against, you know, the laws that was put down. But the laws was actually given to you know, the 12 tribes. It was given to you know, given to Moses to pass down. And since these heathen, Esau and the heathens wanted to pick up the book, man, you know, you want to take on the responsibility of, you know, adding yourself to that book, you know, by picking it up, reading it, claiming that you have stake in it. You know, you're going to be held accountable for the same, you know, for the same disobedience of the law. So, you know, it's better you have not picked that book up. But even, you know, even China got a version of the scriptures, you know. So you're going to be held accountable for your actions. This is Psalms 92. Psalms 98 and 2. Yahweh have made known his salvation, his righteousness have he openly showed in the sight of the heathen. So, you know, once again, the heathen wanted to pick up the book. Salvation is for the Israelites. You know, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai wants his name to be exalted, you know, magnified across the earth. He wants all tribes, all, you know what I'm saying, all nations to know that name. But the actual law, the statutes and commandments was handed down from Moses. But Moses was given the law to pretty much give to the tribes. And that book, you know, wasn't for the heathen to take part in. But since you want to take part in it, now you gotta suffer the consequences of disobedience. And plus how you pretty much dealt with the tribes. You dealt with the tribes wickedly. So, you know, you have a part in especially here in Babylon, you have a part in oppression. You mistreatment of the tribes. So with that, with that system they have there over there in Shanghai, they kind of, they want to push it throughout the whole region of China. But right now it's being used in Shanghai, in that particular province and district, and based on whatever's going on, they can send the proper authorities, whether it's a fire or if they need police. So their surveillance is right up there with ours. They want to monitor everything you do in all public spaces. So in Babylon, like especially in major cities, man, you got surveillance everywhere. There's no way you can go without being on somebody's camera. But see, the difference here is those are not all entwined into one database. It's not like you might have all these different businesses here. They'll have their own system where law enforcement or whatever authority needs to go to retrieve footage, they'll just go get it on their own. But in Shanghai, man, it's all tied into one system. So they have total control over what's being seen. So they even have I'm pretty sure they have a way of manipulating the video if need be. None of these heathens are completely honest. But that's soon to come. All these things are tying into a digital way of living, a new world, a new way of living that goes into your NWO. Push you into these little pockets where they can just monitor you and your whereabouts and your goings and your comings, and monitor your social credit score, and monitor what, quote unquote, how much carbon you're using, and it's all in efforts of control. To control the people, to make the people submit and subdue them, and then eventually, they're gonna push that MOTB, man. Pretty much they're gonna see-hip everybody, and then or at least they'll attempt to. The Lord gonna intervene, and that's pretty much. It's gonna be the end of this of the heathen's reign. I'm gonna go into Wisdom of Solomon. It's gonna be chapter 6. Start off with verse 1. It's gonna be in the GNT. So then, you kings, you rulers, the world over. I'll start that again. Wisdom of Solomon 6, verse 1. So then, you rulers, Salakia. So then, you kings, you rulers, the world over, listen to what I say and learn from it. You govern many lands and are proud that so many people are under your rule. This is verse 3. But this authority has been given to you by Yahweh Most High. He will examine what you have done and what you plan to do. This is verse 5. You will suffer sudden and terrible punishment. Judgment is especially severe on those in power. So, man, scriptures clearly shows you, man, that all these wicked people in power, even the wickedness of our people, man, you got a day of reckoning that's coming towards you, man. And call Lord Yahweh Shemi Hawashai, man, and sped up time, and things are moving much more faster, much faster than than just a few years ago, man. Time done sped up, and you starting to see all these things as linked to prophecy. You seeing them come to fruition. You seeing it being fulfilled. all these wicked, all these wicked rulers, people that govern these different lands, these different territories, these different nations. You're gonna have a day of reckoning coming to you, man. The Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is gonna, he's gonna make a lot of people's lands desolate, man. He's gonna take a lot of people out, man. Here in Babylon, there's gonna be a wasteland, man. It's gonna be a lake of fire, then it's gonna be a desert wasteland. So that day is coming, man. It seems like it's coming faster. Let's see. This is Proverbs 2. I'm gonna read verses 14 and 15. Who rejoice to do evil and delight in the forwardness of the wicked. Verse 15. Whose ways are crooked, and they forward in their paths. That's all these people, they take joy in doing evil, man. They don't care about the people that they govern over. They just care about how much money they can make off of them, and how much further, they can push them into oppression, how much more they can, get, how much more labor they can get out of them for a cheaper price, restrict their goings and comings. It's all in efforts, man, to bring forth their technocracy, rule the world through this digital age of AI and robots, and pretty much downsize, the people in the world, get that down to a number. I believe it was around 500 million. We're roughly around 8-9 million people on the planet, and they're trying to get that number down to 500 million. So that's a lot of people they're trying to off, man. That's a lot of people they're trying to get rid of, so they can control resources, and pretty much control every aspect of a person, And once they implement that chip, and if you take it, you are now their property. So this is what they're looking to do. You in this scripture, Proverbs 2 and 14 and 15, when you look at the word forwardness, and the word forward, that's come from the Strong's H8419, which means perversity or perverse thing, pretty much a fraud, They're using deceit to appear a certain way, to project a certain narrative, So they delight in their fraudulent behavior and their fraudulent activities, This is a second Esdras 15, and I'm going to read verses 5 and 6. Verse 5. Behold, saith Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Verse 6. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. This is what's to come, man. When they implement that digital system, man, and it's that one world connectivity, that one world rulership, everything is gonna be connected, man, through to one digital database, man. that's the whole thing of a one world organization, one world government, one world rule is to have everything centralized. So that's going to create, that's definitely going to create a famine. But this is all done through the will and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. So he's going to bring these plagues and these famines, these pestilences. He's going to create death, destruction, and all this is going to take place, man. Because this place, Babylon got to go, man. Our land needs to be purified, and we need to put these wicked ass heathens in order. You leave it up to them and their devices, man. They'll destroy the whole planet, But when you really look at it, man, this is the Most High script. This is a story. So there's just things we have to go through, things we have to witness, and basically just going through the story, man, going through the prophecies, going through the storyline, and eventually he's gonna make his appearance, man, and these heathens is gonna be put in their rightful place, man. Underneath the feet of the Israelites, the true biblical Israelites, not them small hat clowns, them imposters that's right now, desecrating our land. This is Psalms 60 and 8. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Philistia, triumph, thou because of me. You know what? I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna go ahead and read the precept to that one. That was Psalm 16:8. I'm gonna go ahead and read Psalms 108. I'm gonna read verses 9 and 10. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Over Philistia will I triumph. Verse 10. Who will bring me into the strong city? Who will lead me into Edom? So when you look at this, when you look at that, Moab is his washpot. Moab is my washpot. So basically, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is saying that he's gonna use Moab, to bring out Edom. So basically, you can look at it and it goes into two ways, because those nations from the north, when they go to battle, in the land of Jehoshaphat during that time of Armageddon, Armageddon, Moab is going to be part of that, and he's also going to use him to draw Esau into this thing, man. Esau, he want to, them small hats are trying to push the issue, but they're using China, to spearhead this thing, these small hats, they control the narrative, as long, wherever there's a central bank, man, small hats is controlling that, controlling what's going on. So Moab is going to be used as a hook, man. Just like, when you're going fishing, man, you're going to use a hook, you're going to use bait, you're going to cast out your reel, and when that fish bite, man, you're going to reel his ass in. And that's exactly what's happening. So Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is using Moab as his washpot, using him as his hook to reel in Edom, wheel in Babylon into moving forward in this digital age, man, moving forward with that NWO, moving forward with that MOTB, So when you look at that word, washpot, that's Strong's H5518. It's a few meanings, pot, kitchen utensil, it's like a utensil. It could be a thorn, briar, a hook. So when you really look at it, he's using he's using Moab as a hook to reel in Edom, man, to get these small hats to go ahead and push the button, get things going as far as prophecy. Keep the prophecies moving. And then when you look at the word Philistia, that's Strong's H 6429. That's it means the land of sojourners, pretty much Palestine, the land of Canaan, which is Palestine. All that land is our land. So he's basically going like Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is just using MOAB as a pawn to get them, to get Edom to make a move. Give me one sec. Okay. This is Deuteronomy 23:3. An Ammonite or a Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of Yahweh. Even to their 10th generation shall there not be, even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of Yahweh forever. So, no heathen nation is going to enter this congregation of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All these heathen nations, man, starting with Esau, wicked ass, is going into captivity. Esau gonna get it the worst. But all these heathen nations, man, Moab, Ammon, Ham, Elam, Ishmael, y'all gonna follow instructions, man. You gonna follow the rules. If not, you're gonna be subjugated to a beatdown. You're gonna be dealt with according to the laws of the Bible. So it's coming, man, and Most High is on his way. And as these prophecies and the time picks up and starts speeding up, we're watching prophecies play out. We just getting closer and closer to that digital system, and closer and closer to the return of our Lord, our Savior, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakahak Radash Abad Bubal.